it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger, more than ever. After our work is never over. Work it harder, make it
Alright,
better,
hearties,
do it
welcome
faster.
to the Slob and The Snob. This here be our review of Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
You're not going to do the accent the entire review, are you?
No, I just setting it up.
Good.
I do have to say though, I'm a little disappointed. You spent $15 to see a 3D movie and you don't get any 3D. What was that?
You didn't wear the eye patch while you were watching the movie, did you?
Yeah.
Jack, have you ever seen with your own eyes the fountain of youth?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
We know you're in possession of a map.
You could guide an expedition.
I could use a ship. What has become of my beloved Pearl? Taken. Blackbeard. But the Riggin had come to life. Our own ship turned against us. Captain, I wish to report a mutiny. I can name fingers and point names. Perfect.
Yeah.
He had the hat.
Yeah, you put a belt buckle on the front of this and it worked for Thanksgiving too.
Nice.
The fountain. Is that where Jack be headed? It is not the destination so much as the journey. The fountain of youth. What does it require?
A mermaid, Jack.
Alright, well, we left off the last movie with many of the characters' main storylines concluded and Captain Jack running off in a dinghy to look for the Fountain of Youth. At the beginning of this movie, he's back in London for somewhat unexplained reasons and going off to look for the fountain again and to race many other parties who are looking for the fountain as well to his goal. Now, what did you think of where the movie went off from here?
Well, I do have to say, it was pretty threadbare. The Fountain of Youth was the proverbial MacGuffin for Captain Jack to go and pursue his various shenanigans, do some piratey things, which, granted, there were some pretty awesome Captain Jack moments, but there was really no point to the story that I could see personally, besides it's just something for him to chase.
Yeah, this definitely felt like... Well, I like an episode of a Pirates of the Caribbean television serial. Like, the movie starts off, you have a plot point, you go through it, and all the characters pretty much end up where they started, and nothing really comes of it.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, you know, it's a good adventure along the way.
Yes.
Some interesting new characters crop up. I don't know how I felt about the villain in this one.
I totally agree with you there.
Yeah.
We're probably jumping the gun because we're going to be talking about characters later on.
Okay.
But that was definitely my biggest sticking point with this movie, in that Blackbeard was pretty weak. He didn't have much going on. He didn't have much in the way of motivation. Really, besides from a few tricks up his sleeve, he wasn't really very imposing or scary. I think that's what they were going for, and it didn't really work very well. Yeah, so that was probably the weakest part of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, the producers said that they were going for two main things with this movie. To make a plot that was less convoluted and more just kind of fun along for the ride, and make a more imposing and just evil for the sake of being evil villain.
Got about half of that right.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely evil for the sake of being evil,
Sure.
but there was real... I mean, you still need some motivation there, even
Exactly.
in the case.
All hands on deck! We've fallen behind. We need one mermaid.
You're killing her. I'm a bad man.
As far as the characters themselves, Johnny Depp is, of course, Captain Jack Sparrow, was Captain Jack as always. He had some really cool moments, as I said.
If you love the character, you'll love this movie. It's
Yes.
pretty much him hamming it up 3/4 of the time.
And hemming it up very well.
Yeah, I mean, most of the jokes worked pretty well.
They did.
There were a few groaners, I suppose,
Yeah.
but they didn't rely on referencing back to the first three movies
They
ever,
did.
really.
They cut out a lot of the fat. The same old jokes that you kept seeing over and over.
There was
in those
hardly
movies.
any mention of rum.
There
So-
really wasn't. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Or sea turtles, maybe.
No sea turtles.
No peanuts.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. So that was good.
Right.
And they kept it going.
Now,
even despite that.
Returning and new characters, we have Captain Barbossa, of
My
course, coming back into
favorite,
play.
Jeffrey Rush as Captain Barbossa, is the man. He's my favorite part of this movie, honestly.
Yeah, well, yeah, and he was a good addition to the movie as always. Like, part of the series' best moments has definitely always been the interplay between him and Jack. I couldn't get over how he looked for the first half of the movie.
That's true.
But without giving
what they're going for.
Yeah, without giving away some plot points, it's a little off kilter from what you're used to from him. But now the new, I suppose, love interest is Penelope Cruz as Blackbeard's daughter, whose
perhaps
name I can't remember. Now, yes, perhaps. Now, she
was the saucy former love interest,
fiery Latin woman.
Yes, yes. I mean, she plays that fine. I thought the character was kind of. It's not really she didn't have a point, but because that kind of a big part of the plot was trying to figure her character out. But in the end, I don't know if they.
I'm not sure if there was much payoff for it.
Yeah, they didn't pay it off. So
now that was kind of how I felt about the whole movie. It was fun getting to where they got, but I didn't feel like there was anything to be got to once the climax came up. I mean, no characters changed. There was no real consequences to what happened. But, I mean, all in all, it was a fun action romp, leagues above anything else you see over the summer usually. Not leagues above. I mean, it's a good popcorn movie.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah. It was some fun, mindless action. Don't think about it too much because there's not much to think about. Go in and enjoy it for what it is. It's a big action movie with some cool action scenes, some good humor from Johnny Depp and Captain Barbossa, Captain Jeffrey Rush. So that's kind of where I am with it.
Yeah, if you love the series, you won't be disappointed.
Again! Fight to the bitter end!
Hardly appropriate for a first mate.
Was I the first?
It has begun!
Or part of the plan, yes? No. Have you been there?
Does his face look like it's been to the fountain of youth?
Depends on the light.
Okay, just a quick summary from the Slob's point of view. I thought it was a fun movie. I thought that Captain Jack did his thing, and that's kind of what the entire point of the movie was. And that they did a good job. I thought it was the best of the series since the first. You'll never get as good as the first. We were talking about this when the movie was over. We got to stop comparing these to the first because that's as good as it gets. This was very good. It was Captain Jack and Captain Barbossa in some of the really awesome moments of the series. I give this a C compared to the D plus that the previous ones have gotten. Maybe a C plus, I'll be fair. But I would not spend this money for 3D. They really didn't have much, even though I was wearing my eye patch. Check it out in matinee. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to you on this one. Now, the magic of the first movie is, it was a fun adventure comedy, but, there were consequences, there was character change throughout, you felt that something came of what happened through their whole adventures with, the undead pirates and all. Mm-hmm. But in this one, that nothing really happened, and even with the characters they introduced, they just kind of drop them towards the end. And I'd say it's a solid C plus. Yeah, I'm right there with you on this one. I can't say much more than that.
Wow, the Slob and the Snob agree.
It's a little depressing, but
at least in that respect, we got it right.
Yep.
So thanks again for watching, everyone. Slob and the Snob. Tell your friends.
All you used to do was put me down, but I found a way to pick myself up off the ground. And all you used to do was criticize me, but now I find a good and I emphasize it. See, you would always get so sensitive and try to turn your transgressions into my guiltiness, but now
you know, I can definitely enjoy a movie like that.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
I had fun in there, but you know, it's
If you're paying that much money, I'd like just a bit more meat on the bone.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. 3D was not worth it. I
Yeah, don't.
But the sword comes out.
It's hard.